Hi, I'm Steve Handy, and today I'm in the south of France in Antibes on a stunning 76 yacht Sunseeker called Chapter 2, and I want to talk you through why you should buy this beautiful boat. So we're going to start our tour today in the aft cockpit of this stunning boat. So the 76 yacht had different options here. This particular boat had this big L-shaped sofa. As standard on the 76, this stacking patio door to starboard opens this space fully, so you've got inside-outside connection, which is lovely. I love these windows in the design here. Beautiful to sit on this L-shaped sofa facing aft and being able to look out to sea. I think that's a really cool design. We've got refrigeration and ice maker in here. Love these teak doors. That's really very nicely done from Sunseeker. And of course, all of this stainless steel and all of the engineering in this is beautifully done. Bathing platform on this Sunseeker lifts up to 450 kilograms. So it's a hydraulic bathing platform, beautiful for swimming. So if you've got people who are a bit nervous in the water, just lowering that platform down enough so that they can step down and just ease themselves into the water is really nice. But for launching your tender, a really cool system, very nice piece of engineering from Sunseeker, and it just means launching and recovering the tender is really easy. Unfortunately, the weather's too windy and too rough today for us to do that, so we'll cut into that. Lots of storage at the back end, and of course access to the crew cabin. But really very lovely space, and the theme of today is all about the condition of this boat. She is actively for sale. We are here filming a boat that you could buy, and they are in the middle of their pre-season prep, but even things like the tables have all been sanded, so everything is in really impeccable condition. Nice feature here on this Sunseeker is this third docking station with the Aventix joystick, so really lovely to see. But let's go forward and show you the outstanding foredeck space. So I love the high side decks here on this Sunseeker, and very wide actually for her size. She feels really voluminous, lots of space, and very safe if you've got younger kids or you're moving around the boat at sea. Wow, well, this model was always renowned by the press for its huge foredeck space, and this really is sensational. Very few boats of this size have got two independent sun loungers, so to see this on a Sunseeker here in this space is really very special. So you've got double sun loungers forward, you've got this seating group here sitting around this table. There is sunshade here available for this seating group, so a bit like a pram hood type cover, so you've got protection here. We've got drawer refrigeration, two of those in here, and I love the fact that there's big storage under both of these sunbathing compartments, and importantly for people who wanted it, not fitted on this particular boat, but it could be added. Some sunshade here on the bow. The owners on here are sun worshippers, so they're not bothered about shade here on the foredeck. But what a beautiful, beautiful space. Lots and lots of sunbathing and lots of socializing. Let's go on to the Flybridge, because if you think this is big, let's go and see up on the top. If any of you have watched some of my other videos, you'll know I do a lot of filming in Portugal, and I can tell you it's a lot warmer there than it is at 9 o'clock on this early March day in the south of France. It's actually freezing. Look, we're up on the Flybridge space here, and again, the theme here is volume. Just absolutely unbelievable space. Huge dining table, again, all sanded by the captain here for the season, but lovely material. I love this. It's got sort of a Hessian feel in the outside fabric. This was an upgrade. Those two individual bar stools, and this bar is very well appointed. So you've got in here a refrigerated cool box. We've got an electric griddle here, an ice maker, and another refrigerator and storage. So this space up here, if you've got crew serving you, is very well catered for looking after your guests. This particular boat has the open deck at the back, so this owner actually uses this space in different ways. They've had freestanding sun loungers. I know they have an inflatable jacuzzi that they use up here sometimes, but it's a nice big space at the back end of the Flybridge that could be customized and changed for somebody that wanted to do that. This space here is outstanding. So you've got this lovely U-shaped seating group. This hydraulic table on this telescopic leg, and then we'll cut into footage here that this whole area transforms with one more sun pad cushion, so this is one big chill out zone. And what's nice with this space is if you're traveling underway, because you've got this big front facing windscreen, you're sheltered from the breeze. So actually, if you turn this into this sort of lounging area with scatter cushions, you could all chill out here whilst either stationary or underway. But that's a very lovely space, and then everything you would expect here with this helm station Flybridge. You've got a window here, a piece of plastic here that just helps protect the captain, and all of the controls, all of the main controls that you would have downstairs, down below. Obviously your main throttle levers for these beautiful 1550 horsepower V12 MANs, your Aventics joystick so that you can use just the joystick if you want to, or obviously you've got your bow and stern thruster. Importantly, up here, captain has got the windlass control for the electric winch forward. So from an anchoring perspective, either you could have crew doing that on the foredeck, or you've got your controls up here. And have in mind, this boat was upgraded, so she's got two generators. She's got two 27 kilowatt generators, and that's creating enough power to keep this boat fully self-sufficient, so that all of your TVs, all of your AV, all of your air conditioning systems or heating, as we're using it for today, all of these things, like a home, are all powered by these two big diesel generators that are creating enough electricity to feed this boat. I love this sunroof. And we'll talk about this more as we go through the boat, but the condition of this boat is unbelievable. Hopefully we can get this on camera, that this inside part of this sunroof looks like new. So look, I think that's covered the outside spaces. I want to show you the accommodation space and how fantastic this boat is, with 4 cabins, each with their own ensuite bathrooms, in an opulent and luxurious way, as you would expect of any Sunseeker, but in particular this boat is done so tastefully. So let's go and have a look at the accommodation. So we're doing this a bit differently today. I want to start at the front of the interior space and work aft. As you know, we are at sea, so you can hear the water, and it is a really rough day today, so we are getting lots of movement, so hopefully that's not distracting from me talking on camera. Right, we're in the forward VIP. This is a very, very impressive space for a VIP. This isn't your master, this is your main guest. So you've got lots of space, big king size bed here. I love the big windows so that you can see out to sea, so you're not feeling closed into this space. This Wenge wood and all the different materials in here make this space feel really opulent and very luxurious. Love the fact that you've got the upgraded AV package throughout this boat. So every area has upgraded larger Samsung TVs, Sonos AV system, so all the music you can control in each cabin or via your phone, as you would expect. Wardrobe space in here. Love the solidity of this, and I'll talk about this throughout the whole boat. I've always loved this on the 76. This stainless detailing in the framing of the door, and everything just feels so heavy and solid. Cute little vanity unit here, and obviously we've got falling over with this swell, we've got a big ensuite in here. So every ensuite is the same in that we've got upgraded stones. Every cabin has a big rain head shower in a big shower cubicle. The Wenge finish in here again just lifts the feeling of quality in these bathrooms, but every bathroom, even the smallest, has big windows, so really lovely spaces. But look, let's go aft. Let's walk into the smallest cabin now, which is on the port side, the twin cabin. Hopefully my cameraman's going to be able to stand up and not fall over. So even at sea with a swell, hopefully you can see this is the thing that dreams are made of. Look at this sunrise here. You can see the water passing through the bow. You've got the sun rising, and even though I said we're in the smallest cabin, this is not a small cabin for a 76-foot boat. You know, look at the market. This is a big volume boat from Sunseeker, and this cabin is evidence to that. This is the smallest cabin, but still with its own ensuite. As I've already mentioned, the Wenge finishing just creates this feeling of luxury, but also very dynamic, very modern, very contemporary. Love to see heated towel rails in each of these spaces, but wow, even your guests in the smallest cabin aren't slumming it. And what a beautiful view out through these big windows. Let's look at the double cabin, and then we'll move on to the master. So we're in the third cabin here, we're on the starboard side. This is the big double cabin island bed. Beautiful for a boat of this size, that you've got this, again, ensuite cabin, but a big island. I would say this is a king size bed, and huge window out in this space. So as we've already talked about, every area has beautifully finished wardrobes and vanity units and access into this ensuite. Now this ensuite is the Jack and Jill, so we've got a door in here to the ensuite from this cabin, and there is a door from the main lobby into this space, so if you've got day guests on the boat, they would use this bathroom. But let's finish in this space with the master. This lobby here is amazing, and that window in the hull and this huge space, it's like loft living. It's so cool. And we've got big storage in here, just on that side there for washer dryer if somebody wanted it. This boat's just set up for storage. Wow, we're in the full beam part of the boat, the widest part of the boat, and this cabin is seriously impressive. Massive windows framing those outside pictures. What a beautiful space. As I've already said, big TV, Sonos everywhere. I mean, what can I say? This is an absolutely stunning master cabin. Love the fact that you've got a little lobby area here for wardrobes, and 3 big wardrobes, lots of drawers, lots of storage, and then this ensuite here in this master, as you would expect, is absolutely stunning. Huge his and hers sinks, lovely big window in the shower, and a massive shower. Well, look, that hopefully concludes downstairs and the accommodation space. I would say overall this boat feels really impressive, but the actual materials, the fabrics, the colours, the textures, everything's really on point on this boat, and I would say this has to be the best boat on the market in the way it feels. She really is beautiful. Let's go upstairs, let's talk to Captain Keegan, and let's show you the main deck. So we're here on the main deck, and the order of the day here is glazing. Lots of natural light, lots of visibility out of this boat, and I hope cameraman's capturing just how cool that looks and how that feels when you're on board this boat. And that is ultimately all down to the way Sunseeker have designed this Sunseeker 76 yacht. This particular boat, Chapter 2, as I've said, she's actively for sale. And the one thing I didn't talk about when we were downstairs is the condition. This boat is now in her 5th season, or would be in the 5th season. She's unbelievable. This is, I can honestly say, I have never seen, especially this type of boat, where owners are using the boat, you're cruising longer distances. You've got crew on board here as well. So in terms of lots of people on board this boat, normally there's lots of damage, there's knocks, there's wear, there's a feeling of age. On here, she feels like new. And in fact, I didn't mention it down below, and I should have done, because I thought I was showing for a moment a brand new boat at a boat show. So look, we're in the main deck. As I already mentioned down below, all of the materials used on this boat really, for me, make this boat feel absolutely stunning. We've got a cool buffet design here. So you've got a table sitting over a storage buffet, so that's quite nice. But lovely design details. I love these 4 individual patio door units, because we've got them closed because we've got the engines on, but when you concertina them all to one side, it just gives you a beautiful flow either outside or inside, connecting these spaces together. So that's beautiful. And you can see here that Sunseeker designed this space so that when you're sat dining, this window here on the port side is larger than the others, so you actually sit and you have a full vista out to sea. Imagine sat dining here looking at a sunset or a sunrise. How absolutely fabulous. But let's go forward. Let's talk about the galley. But one thing just to mention in here, and we can feel it today because we're nice and warm, tropical spec air conditioning. So that was one of the big upgrades on this boat. And there's lots of extras. If you want full detail of all of the different customization and all of the things that were done when this boat was new, reach out to me. My details are up there, obviously in the link in the video, and you can contact me directly. But let's look forward. So I didn't mention in the saloon, but we've got a part of the AV upgrade package is the 55-inch Samsung upgraded TV and a high-low system. I love that, the fact that the TV is not on display, it's in an electric high-low cabinet. That's really nice. So we're in the galley. This particular boat had this dividing partition here, which just gives some separation between galley and saloon. That's really nice. I already mentioned upgraded stones throughout the boat. Loving that. The quality finishings, quality components here. Love this Vitrigo refrigeration. And it's worth mentioning that on this boat, she's got the inverter system. So it essentially means all of your AV systems, so your Sonos, your TVs, and all of your refrigeration, so ice makers, fridges throughout the boat, including your main refrigeration here, is all run from an inverter and additional, I think it's 2 Trojan 100 amp hour batteries, which basically mean that when you're moving from shore power to generator, or if you had an outage somewhere in a marina you didn't know it, actually all the refrigeration is still running because it's using essentially battery power converted to 220 AC. So that's a nice feature, and I've been on boats where owners have had incidents and they've lost refrigeration, didn't know it, been out for the day, and they've lost all their food. So that's a nice touch, engineering touch from Sunseeker. In the galley here, this particular owner has got the upgraded wine fridge in here. You've got a Miele dishwasher, as you would expect, Miele microwave oven, induction hob. I don't know whether you're seeing this, but we've got a window here, and I can hear, I'm just talking to you and I can hear the water running past the boat. What a fantastic feeling. So look, massive main deck space. But let's close that window. Really beautiful, beautiful open space. As I said, lots of visibility from these huge windows, and this particular boat also had the upgraded sunroof here in the forward part of the boat. So I'm going to move, my cameraman's going to sit here in this observation area. I'm going to introduce you to Captain Keegan. We're going to talk some technical information, and then we're going to round up. So I'm sat next to this legend, Captain Keegan. Hello, Keegan.
Morning, Steve.
So Keegan's going to talk on camera for us, which is great, so thank you for that. But let me just say, I'm a bit disappointed, if I'm honest. This is my favourite engine installation on a Sunseeker. This is the fastest Flybridge boat Sunseeker produce. This boat will do 33 knots. That's a 60-ton Flybridge passing through the water at 33 knots. That's seriously impressive. And you're telling me you can still do these speeds?
We can still do them, unfortunately, not today.
Not today. So you're fun police for me today, because I love listening to these V12 MAN engines screaming along. But look, just talk quickly. We can't do speed tests. We can't do fuel tests for the camera. But I've written down some notes here. You're telling me she's doing about 40 litres an hour at 8 knots, slow cruising?
Well, currently we're doing 9 knots and 60, so
okay,
yeah, we can drop it down.
So in that range. And with these hydraulic Sleipner fin stabilizers, I mean, this boat, I can attest to this today, these stabilizers are unbelievable.
Fantastic under cruising as well as anchor.
Really?
Yeah.
And so both. Okay, fine. So so we've got 40 to 60 litres, 8 to 9 knots. You were telling me that up at 14 knots she's burning about 200 litres?
In this weather we were doing about 200, but normally we can see figures about between 160 and 200.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've written down here at 18 knots she's burning 270 litres, so that fuel consumption does grow. But do you know what, for a 76-foot boat, I mean, I've done tests on all sorts of Flybridge boats at 50 feet with 800 horsepower engines, and actually 270 litres combined for a boat of this scale and size, that doesn't feel like a lot to me.
It's just a fantastic meeting point between speed and efficiency.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So 6,000 litre fuel tank, and you were telling me that you've done on Tebe to Palma once on one tank, so that's good to hear.
We have. Normally I try and do a 10% safety margin, and we were just above that actually, so comfortably to Palma.
Cool. Okay. So look, I'm looking at dash. So we've got the Sunseeker CM8 control system here. So this is nice. This is proprietary. So Sunseeker have designed this. This works. This is intuitive for you.
Fantastic system. Great as well for an owner operator, somebody that's coming in that just wants to get information quickly. You have your overview screens, which you can basically get a whole bunch of information about the boat from, including your alarm system. You can work out your bilge system over here. Your air conditioning is done through here.
Okay.
Your exterior lighting.
So even turning your underwater lights on can be done from this screen?
Exactly.
All in one place? And
dimming the inside lights, the salon lights as well.
Okay, cool. And I can see this particular boat had all the upgraded navigation equipment, so the bigger Simrad screen, so you've got radar, obviously 2 chart plotters, but everything that you need. And I know you've got cameras all over here as well.
Yep, exactly. So if you are a bit short on hands around the deck, we do have a fantastic camera system. It's got motion detection, so it does record. Okay, good. And I appreciate you probably won't use it because you're a captain, so you're a traditionalist, but for an owner operator there is this Rexroth
Aventix joystick system.
Yes.
So that links your hydraulic, and I understand bow thruster on this is about 23 horsepower, just in a sideways bow thruster.
Yep, she moves.
20 horsepower stern thruster. So I'm guessing that this thing will hold her sideways in a wind. But for somebody who didn't want to, you know, do it with your experience and using throttle levers, you've got one joystick, so all your inputs can go through that joystick.
Yep. So we have a joystick on the bridge. We have one on the Flybridge, and there's also one on the port aft.
So you've got a third station at the back.
A third station. Exactly.
Okay, cool. Worth just cutting in here. This door here, I noticed for you to get out. That's quite a nice feature. I imagine you use that a lot, so you can slip out, get onto the side deck.
Yep.
And do lines.
If the 76 is running with crew, it's great to not disturb anybody in the salon, to kind of go through the door. Also shopping as well.
So it gives you some separation from your guests if they're entertaining. Okay,
absolutely.
Cool, nice. So look, just talk to me about, because I can see that, I've already mentioned that on this boat, that the condition is unbelievable.
Thank you.
I've got to say that the way you've set the boat up for our photo shoot and video shoot, you deserve a medal. Because everything was absolutely spot on. So thank you, Keegan. That was really nice.
It took an army. I didn't do it alone, but we managed to get it done. So thank you.
Well, from my side as a broker, obviously representing the owners, it's nice to see that there's a captain that cares, and nice to see that, you know, I'm going to bring buyers here ultimately to sell this boat for them.
Yes.
And I've got confidence that you've looked after this boat. And actually, that's really what I want to talk to you about, because I know that these owners have spent a lot of money because they're fastidious, right? Just talk to me about that.
We both share the same ethos about the boat, that a safe boat's a happy boat, and no expense should be spared when it comes to the safety, and not just in the form of the life jackets and the extinguishers, but the mechanical operation and the operations of the boat. They were adamant to make sure that she ran well, and we didn't run into problems.
Yeah.
And when we did, we fixed them.
Yeah.
For example, we have our annual engine service, but on top of that, we do an oil sample analysis.
Really?
Yep, just to test the internals. It's kind of looking into the
every year,
every single year.
Wow, guys, I can tell you that's absolutely unique. And I know these owners have got a management company involved as well. So every element of running this boat, there are people around these owners ensuring that this is looked after. And I'm not saying this just because you're here, but genuinely you have done a very good job of setting this boat up, and the owners talk very, very highly of you. And if you're talking about doing things like oil sample analysis, you're telling me that your water makers are serviced every year, even though it's only done about 100 hours?
100 hours.
So every year since new, generator serviced, engine serviced. We've done today, we're at 797 engine hours, so about 800. Obviously, depending on how old this video gets, we'll see whether the engine hours change, but 800 hours isn't a lot on a boat of this age, and this size.
Yep, some boats really only consider the engine's broken in after 1,000.
Yeah.
So we're not even there yet. We're doing maybe about 250 a year. Generators as well, annual service. We've done about 1,200 hours on the generators.
Okay, good. So I wouldn't normally film the crew cabin, or even in many cases the engine room on the videos we do, but I wanted to show you this space because, again, unbelievable condition. This boat is, as I say, coming up to a 5th season, and this space is absolutely great. But I also wanted to showcase the fact that as a usable space for both guests and crew, this was very cleverly designed by Sunseeker, because this still is finished with the Wenge cabinetry, you know, beautiful materials, lovely lining panels. So actually you could, if you didn't have crew and you're an owner operator, you could genuinely call this a 5th cabin boat with a 5th ensuite. So I love that. And of course for crew, putting crew in this space, in a really luxurious space, is really great. So that's a good feature. Washer and separate Miele washing machine and tumble dryer is a nice feature in here. This door access into the engine room wasn't standard. This particular boat did have it fitted. But let me show you these twin MAN V12s. These are unbelievable. Okay, so I brought you in here because I just wanted to try and point out how unbelievable this boat is in condition. Everything you see, I've lifted the floor plates to see the bilges. When you look at all of the areas that would normally be dirty, the tops of plastic cowling, generators would normally have water collecting in the bottom. There would be rusty bolts, there would be corrosion. There is nothing. This captain is really impressive, although I probably shouldn't say that too much before he asks for a pay rise. But hydraulic fin stabilizers in this part of the engine room here. You can see the side power pack here, which is powering these hydraulic bow and stern thruster and these hydraulic fin stabilizers. I mean, this is an engineering masterpiece in here. This really is very, very lovely. Appreciate not many owners would come in here, but I just wanted to showcase that on this 76-foot Sunseeker, as I say, weighing in at over 60 tons, you have a heart of engineering, which is what's driving this absolutely sensational thing. So hopefully we've captured that on camera. So let's go outside and then let's wrap up. Okay guys, so we're back in port now, and I just wanted to finish up this video showing you a few more things. So I talked about the hydraulic bathing platform. What I didn't tell you is that this Williams 395 turbojet is included, and I love this particular model. It doesn't fill the platform, so you can still get around these areas, but this tender will do 40 knots. It will pull a water skier, and it's got the capacity for 6 adults and a child. So I think this is a really nice addition. And as I say, this is included in the sale. Only 60 hours on this Williams, so barely run at all. This boat also has the beach club. So it has the fold out barbecue griddle here, electric griddle, and this aft facing seat. And of course the rain head shower. Lots of storage. I did mention that earlier in these lockers here. But this is just another social, entertaining, another usable space on this Sunseeker. So hopefully I've been able to convey all the reasons why this boat, Chapter 2, really is very special and very unique. She's actively available for sale, represented by me and Sunseeker Brokerage. We supplied this boat new to her one and only owners who, as I've said to you, have been fastidious in their approach to maintaining and looking after this boat. And I've got to tell you, they've been very lucky with a really good crew and captain. We have all of the title paperwork on file. This boat comes with lots of provenance, as I say, only one owner, and she is actively available for sale. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If so, don't forget to hit like. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel. It helps motivate us to keep doing these videos. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one, guys.